Hello and welcome to another episode of North Country Ham. Today I wanted to hit on another DIY project that I did for myself for ham radio and field days and photo and stuff like that. So with that, please stay tuned and we'll get right into it. Alrighty, folks. Like I said, I wanted to go over my DIY project for my portable power supply. Now, this power supply is a decent size power supply. Um, I don't have a problem moving it around, but I do plan to make it a little bit lighter. Um, this is just an initial build that I did, and as always, you always find better ways of doing things after the fact. And you know, the main thing that really needs to get changed with this is the actual power source itself. Um, I do have plans to change these over from a lead acid battery, car battery that's currently in it, to probably a couple different lithium ion batteries, so that way it cuts the weight in half, improves the power cycle, and more consistent voltage. I plan on hooking them up in a series, so I'll cover that in the video. There has been some slideshow pictures of this power supply that I built. I just want to do a video on it to show a little more in depth in on how the build was for it. So with that, let's get to the video where I show a little more detail on the power supply itself. This is my power supply that I've got made. Did this as a portable power supply. Currently got a lead acid car battery in it, size 24, and the battery box I bought from Walmart. All the components that I've installed in it I bought through like Amazon, so I'll share all those links below. Built a carrier for it. You can see, built a 2x4 frame with some eye bolts and lashed and spliced a carry handle with it. As you can see here, you know, we got carry handle, so that way pick it up and carry it. Currently this in its current state weighs about 40 pounds. So yeah, it's a little soggy. I do plan to replace the lead acid battery in it with some lithium ion batteries. We'll kind of go through some details with what room I got inside and some future plans. But as you can see, I've got this set pretty well. I've got toggle switches on the top which light up when I power it. I've got this one set so Currently there's no power to anything and nothing can turn on until I flip that one. And then I've got this one toggled so it'll light up and give me battery level and voltage output. This one's been setting for a little while. I haven't charged it. Here I've got this Anderson power pole, which I can turn on or off so there's power or no power going to it. So that way everything is individually powered. This is the toggle switches here, bought off Amazon and drilled holes and installed into the lid. Just a little toggle switch. And of course the Anderson power pole was the PowerWorks power pole panel that I purchased off Amazon. Over here you can see I got another toggle that lights up a dual USB port. It is a dual port, like a 2.0 and a 3.0. Over here I've got an SAE port installed that I've got hooked directly to the battery for like solar panel charging. Over here I've got a positive and negative quick nut leads that are wired right in, powered or not. And then I've got a 12-volt lighter panel, just a 12-volt plug charge. All of these, as you can see, are all powered individually, and nothing, when I turn this main switch off, none of it will power up. So that way, you know, transporting, things like that, not much chance for anything to go wrong. So let me kind of speed through here and open up the case and show you the insides. I've got this so this all straps down. Let me get where I can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Inside the lid, if I can get it off here. Okay. Got it all wired up to my car battery. And I've got an internal fuse panel here, all wired up. All labeled for the instrument panel so I know which ones are to which. And you know, I've got it currently at the car battery there. And as you can see, my fuse panel, everything's fused, so that way there's no issues with, and protects my equipment. Now as far as, you know, inside here I could fit a battery up to probably just about 11 inches in width and about 8 inches in depth. And you know, of course, we're setting, trying to do this multi-handed, so I apologize for shaky cam if any. You know, we got, you know, I can safely go probably about 8 inches in depth, a little less, and not interfere with the fuse panel. The way I've got this currently configured, my fuse panel sits about here, not entangling with anything. So some of those lithium ion batteries that are like a 4-inch by 4-inch by 4-inch, I could easily put almost 3 of them side by side by side. I could probably configure almost 3 of those with the depths and everything I got in here. Find the right amp hour one. I was thinking anywhere between a 16 to 20 amp hour. I could hook 3 of them up in a series in here, probably cut my weight in half, have a lot better reliable solid constant voltage for my radio equipment, and a lot safer and easier to for charge cycles. And I bet it would definitely cut the weight in half on this power panel. When I initially put this in, at the time, lithium ion was just not in my budget. So over time, I'm still shopping around, trying to find the best buy I can for the right size that I could hook up at least two decent size, if not three, the similar amp hour in a series, and hook it all up so that way I can solar charge and right through the SAE port on the side, and then take this along. I know I used it at the field day this year, June 2020, and we had it set up. I ran my radio and laptop and charged people's phones and tablets throughout the night over the 24 hours. I ran my radio probably a good 3 to 4 hours solid with my laptop drawing right off the battery, and then over the night everybody was charging their phones off from it. And this was back in June, on June 16th, obviously, for the field day. And this battery is still at the power that it was at. It was probably just a little over half battery life, and still putting out over 12, like 12.2, I think it showed on it. So, all in all, this was a fun build for me, and it was very reliable as it is. I mean, it's just a standard size battery that's in it. I went with a 26 battery that's in it, just because I wanted something a little smaller, a little less weight. But the battery that's in it is about about 8.25 by about 6.5, and sits in there every bit of 7 inches to the bottom, to the very top of the battery, plus about an inch for the post. So it fills this very very well, but it is very much. I just have this in here as a keep it from shifting and taking up some room in there. But it's been it turned out very well. It worked really well for me. Get this. So as we can see here, this has been over 6 months, and I'm still at half battery and 12.2 volts, and it hasn't been on charge or anything. Just been sitting in the side room in here unused. So it got a good amount of use throughout the night, and still held up pretty decent charge. But I would imagine if I get the lithium ion, it's going to make a much better portable power supply for field days and POTA, which I plan to try to get into here after the winter breaks in the North Country up here. So hopefully this gives you some ideas. I just kind of drilled out the holes and snapped these in, got a nice tight fit. As you can see, it's I'm very happy with how it turned out, sealing all the holes. Everything looks very well done and made. Got a I'd have to tally it up to know about what I've got into this total parts. The battery box itself was only about $10 at Walmart. All the components, I'd have to tally them up from what I bought off Amazon. All the voltage meter, the power poles, the USB, the switches, the leads. I bought everything off from Amazon from there. And the battery itself, was, I forget what the cost of the battery was, but that could vary depending on what batteries you put in there. So I would have to add everything up, and maybe by the time I find all the links on Amazon, I'll have a better idea what the total price was. So with that, all right, well, I appreciate you watching the video, and definitely if you enjoy what I'm doing and want to help me out, I definitely appreciate that. Please remember to hit subscribe or the bell to be notified of any new videos. And hey, I'm working on some other projects in the future, so hopefully I'll be able to video those as I'm doing them, and be able to show that a little more real time instead of after I've already done it and playing catch up. So I appreciate you watching, and as always, get on the air.